Did you see that epic game? Did you see the magic that happened? I told Paul, the man from CO. Also, we have Brandon Toms on here talking some NBA. Also, if you don't watch Totem Pole Nation, you got to like, comment, and subscribe. Him and Matt Pat on the show, first or last. Great NASCAR content. It's a must watch. Not only that, but I told you I predict the future when it comes to the NBA. I said the Mavericks were going to win tonight. They're going to close it at home. What did the man from Seattle, what did Paul say? There's going to be a game 7. Why would there be a game 7 when Kyrie Irving is 13-0 in closeout games? Also, we're probably going to talk about the trade of P.J. Washington getting sent to the Mavericks as a great deal. Not only that, I give props to OKC and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander dropping 36 points, but it just wasn't good enough. They struggled from the three-point percentage. Once again, their bench wasn't great. But how are you going to go against Luka and Kyrie in a game 6? Brandon Thomas, what are your thoughts on this game?
All right, so my thoughts on the game, obviously, we mentioned the P.J. Washington trade. Previously, I love that trade. As a Dallas person, I would love that trade. As a Hornets fan, I do not like that Dallas trade with P.J. Washington. P.J.'s shown flashes. He still has some issues that I think needs to be addressed. Obviously, getting rebounds like we talked about in the live stream. But there's some things that he needs to do better on. But at the end of the game, who was it that got fouled, made the free throws to win the game for Dallas? That was none other than P.J. Washington. So I think it was a great move for Dallas, obviously getting him. Excuse me. So I give the Dallas Mavericks an A+ grade in that trade. Obviously, this is after the fact, and seeing what all is unfolded from that trade. But I do like that. The game itself was fantastic. You know, Dallas was down by 20 in the first half. Even I said there was going to be a game 7. And I called OKC to win in that game 7. So I will take the heat on that. But that was my thoughts at halftime. Obviously, those changed towards the end of the game. But fantastic game. What a way to end the Western Conference semis between the Dallas Mavericks and the OKC Thunder.
Two of the most least intimidating guys that you'll ever see. Now, Robert Sterling, you and that little, I don't know, bitch plate of food. I don't know what you're talking about. When it comes to this game, I felt like the Mavericks should have closed it out in 5 if they didn't miss half of their free throws. The only reason why OKC forced it to game 6 is because OKC in game 5 was able to shoot 95% from the free throw line, while the Dallas Mavericks shot less than 50% from the free throw line, shooting 12 of 23. But OKC blew the lead. They had the most in points in the paint. They had the most in fast break points. They had the least turnovers. They had the most blocks. They had the most steals. But they got out-rebounded. It came down to rebounds. They got out-rebounded 47-31. They got out-rebounded by 7 in offensive boards and got out-rebounded by 9 in defensive rebounds. The free throw percentage, they basically won every single battle except the three-point percentage and the rebounds, and they forced 18 turnovers and still couldn't win the game. OKC's a young team. I like Shai Gilgeous. I like Chet Holmgren. I like Dort. They got a great team. Nobody expected OKC to be the number 1 seed. But I will tell you this, and like I told Paul, y'all thought the game was over, and I said this got to be, I thought we were playing 48 minutes of basketball, not 24. We've seen teams blow 20-point leads. We see my boss and Southern blow a 30-point lead in the regular season twice. Like, the game is not over until the clock hits 0. Kyrie, PJ Washington came up in clutch. Luka. The only thing that I hate about Luka is he got to stop bitching after every damn call. Oh my God. He just needs to learn how to just play. Stop talking to the ref after every play. Who do you think OKC is going to match up with in the Western Conference? Is it going to be Denver or is it going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves?
I think the Mavs. I want to say the T Wolves just because of history and the T Wolves hadn't been there in forever. I want to say the T Wolves, but I can't bring myself to a wholehearted, T Wolves in the Western Conference Finals deal. I do think Anthony Edwards is going to put up numbers, but I don't think they have enough. I think Luka's going to put up, or not Luka, Jesus. Jokic is going to put up a triple-double, and the Nuggets are going to win Game 7 of the Western Conference semis against the T-Wolves. So I think we get a Mavs Nuggets Western Conference Finals.
Ladies and gentlemen, Totem Pole Sports, the man from Seattle and Kirk Wynn, they the ones that told me that the NBA doesn't want the Denver Nuggets to win back-to-back championships, right? Now, I'm not saying if they make the Western Conference Finals, the Denver Nuggets are the better team to beat the Dallas Mavericks. They are the better team, the better complete team, their bench, their size. It's just the Dallas Mavericks don't have any true bigs. Dallas is better. I think Dallas is just a mismatch for both teams, to be honest. Let's just say that they're a mismatch for the Timberwolves because they got a 6'10 Nas Reed and they got a 7'2 and a 7-foot Karl Anthony Towns, along with Anthony Edwards. I mean, along with a Mike Conley. The Dallas Mavericks are a mismatch for both teams. But I will say this. The Western Conference Finals will start on Wednesday at 8:30. And that team in Game 7 tomorrow will be the Minnesota Timberwolves. It will be Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards versus Luka and Kyrie. That will get ratings more than Denver and Dallas. That would get way more ratings because Ant Edwards is the face of the NBA. Now, it was supposed to be John Morant, but he wanted to be a gangster and get suspended for 25 games. Ant Edwards is the face of the NBA. Now, I don't think he's the next Michael Jordan. We going to have to hold off on the next Michael Jordan stuff because Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. But that's the matchup that I see happening here. That will start on Wednesday. Whoever team wins tomorrow, there's 2 Game 7s tomorrow. Whatever team wins, Boston plays on Tuesday. The Western Conference starts on Wednesday. But if I'm confident enough, give me the Timberwolves. But the Dallas Mavericks, this is how far they will go. They're not going to the finals. I don't see them defensively beating the Nuggets and or the Timberwolves. I just don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen. This is their stop. This is the end.
So let me get this straight. You're calling the T-Wolves and whoever comes out of the Eastern Conference in the finals.
All right, I'm going to go with the Timberwolves and my Boston Celtics.
I like it. I can't. So I think the Knicks win Game 7 against the Pacers. We get a Boston, New York, old school type of Eastern Conference Finals. The T-Wolves and the Celtics and the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm calling that now.
Any last words on these matchups, or you got it, or did you spill it, or did you spit out all the beats you got to say?
I mean, so I talked about the PJ Washington trade. That was my big take. I do think the Mavs get an A+ in that deal. Gordon Hayward, another former Hornet, comes out on the short end of the stick with OKC, but I did like the PJ Washington trade for the Mavs. I do think the Knicks win Game 7 against the Pacers. I think T.J. Brunson and those guys are too much for the Indiana Pacers, and I think they win Game 7. So we might get a Knicks-Boston matchup for the Eastern Conference. And then I think the Western Conference, like you said, I'm going with whoever wins that T-Wolves Nuggets series as a whole. I think whoever wins that one is going to be the Western Conference Finals champs. So I will agree with you in that sentiment, but I'm taking the Nuggets and I'm taking the Knicks to win the Eastern Conference Game 7 tomorrow. So I'm taking the Nugs and the Knicks tomorrow.
Pro basketball is boring. College March Madness is awesome. Yeah, but we're way past that time, buddy. We're in May.
March Madness was so like 2 months ago.
Yeah, we're in May. Jesus is King. Represent and be saved by loves you. Also go Ravens. I appreciate the message, but the Ravens part, not really. But this is it for Total Post Sports. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to watch Brandon Thompson and Matt Pat on First or Last NASCAR content, the great content, obviously. And don't forget, we got merch. If you need merch like this hat or anything else, you go to TotalPoleNation.com. Also, we're sponsored by St. Pete Rejuvenate on Total Post Sports on this platform. Not only that, download Autograph, autograph.io. You can download it on the Google Play or the App Store. That content is better than ever. And any teams, you can like all your teams. Now, they're not licensed in the NFL yet, but you can like all college teams and all NBA teams on Autograph. We will be back on Monday or whenever, but there's a lot of NBA stuff to be played out tomorrow. We'll see who wins 2 Game 7s. Very interesting part of sports. Y'all have a great day and take care.